a video using up the candied chestnuts that I made months ago. So they turned out quite well, and they are tasty. These are they. I just drained them out of the syrup, that is the syrup underneath that they have been preserved in. And they've been in the cupboard as well, so they've kept well. I've just chopped them up slightly. So what I kind of thought we'd do with these is, because they've kind of gone a little bit like glacé fruit type of thing, I thought what we'll see if we can do is we'll see if we can make like a chestnut, not cake because that would be made with chestnut flour, but we'll make a cake, and we'll fold the chestnuts into the cake mixture, and we'll see kind of how it turns out. If you kind of think of like a walnut cake or something like that, kind of probably, hopefully, kind of work well. I can't remember how much is there. We really should weigh that, shouldn't we? Get kind of an idea of how much we've got. So, oh yeah. So it's a 4 egg. I've already made the cake mixture. It's 4 egg cake mixture. So it's I always work in the old fashioned measurements. So it's 4 eggs. So therefore it's 8 ounces of butter, 8 ounces of sugar, 8 ounces of self-raising flour. I'll do the alternatives, and then we've got a couple of ounces of flour in here, which we're going to dust the chestnuts in. And then what I thought we'd do is, when we've made the cake, we might just pour the syrup into the cake, so it kind of goes like a chestnutty, syrupy cake. So I think what we'll do is we'll kind of take the cake out of the tin, put the paper back in, pour the warmed syrup into there, and then have the cake back on top, and then it might kind of soak into it. So it might be like a bit of like a treacle syrupy sponge type of thing. So anyway, so 2 ounces of self-raising flour, and then we've got how much? We've just got about 6.5 ounces of what do you call it, chestnuts. So we'll move those in with the flour, mix all around. This will hopefully make sure that the chestnuts remain suspended. Well, that word. In with the into the cake mixture. So that. Dust them all through. Could have cooked them smaller, but you know, maybe we'll break them up a little bit. Yeah, we'll break them up a little bit. They were quite soft. I made these were the kind of like the bit of the offcuts type of thing. The nice ones I gave to my sister for Christmas as a bit of an extra gift. And these were like all the little bitty bits, but they're still nice. And they'll go into this cake. And then I kind of thought, what I'll do this year is there's a chestnut tree near me, and one of the places I go out for a walk. So we'll go and collect some English chestnuts and see if we can do the same with those, because they were very sweet. I tried some, they weren't. I was too late for the season, but there was a few left on the tree, and the few that I found on the tree, I cooked them and they were very nice. So that's fine. We don't need to do any more. So cake mixture, that and then like that. Fold in the extra flour as well. The extra flour is going to help everything, and the mixture will be a little bit thicker, and it will hopefully stop the fruit from the chestnuts from sinking to the bottom of the cake. But if it does, it doesn't matter. You know, we're only faffing around, and they've been in the cupboard for ages, and I thought I really should use them up. So in here, into a loaf tin. I'll do the dimensions of the loaf tin, and grams and ounces and all that kind of stuff, and then into a fan oven, 180, until it's cooked. What, half an hour, something like that? 20 minutes, 25 minutes, half an hour, depending on your oven and all that kind of stuff. So that there like that, that there like that. Excuse fingers, but it's all right. I'm at home. And there we go. So in the oven, and then we'll see what it's like when it's out and it's cool. Chestnut cake has cooled. We'll get it out and have a look. We can't cut into it yet because I want to do the syrup on the bottom. But what we'll do that and have a look at the bottom. That looks alright. Doesn't like all the... It's quite heavy, that with the chestnuts. It doesn't look like all the fruit, all the chestnuts have gone to the bottom. So we just need to clean up the paper a little bit. Just using your finger. You could just use a fresh bit of paper, but I think that's a bit of a waste. What have we got? I need something like a... I'm looking for a certain tool which I can't find. I'll have to pause until I find it. That's where it's supposed to be all the time. So, just slice and just carefully, like that. Got to be careful when you do this, because any kind of creases, that's where the rips are going to be. So any kind of serious creases there, just kind of do that. But we'll just give it a better finish if we do this. Like that, get rid of the breadcrumbs, well, cake crumbs. And then, hang on. So, top tip, if you've got two of these cake things, cake loaves, the best way to get the paper into them is to put another cake loaf tin in and press in, and then it pushes it to the sides like that, as if by magic. Okay, and then I've got the chestnut syrup, and I've just heated it up slightly just so it's easier to work with, and then we'll pour that syrup into the bottom like that. Move that around a bit, and then hopefully what will happen is that the chestnut cake will soak up all that syrup. Syrup's lovely. So just that in there. I think could pour it on top, but it has a habit of pooling around the outsides and not kind of getting into that bit there. So you get the syrup around the sides, but not in there. So if we put it in the bottom, that bit there is going to soak up all the syrup. So that in there like that. Leave it for a few hours just so it all kind of soaks in naturally, and then we'll hopefully have a chestnut syrup cake. Had a couple of hours, so we'll have a look. It should have soaked in by now. We'll just have a look down the side of the paper. Oh no, that's okay. That's okay. So just a little bit of syrup on the bottom. Ooh, look at that. That. You can see where it's come up the sides. So we'll cut in half, and then we'll kind of see. That's a good sign that we're cutting through chestnuts at the top of the cake. Oh, they've gone down to the bottom. Not to worry. But, I mean, there's not loads of syrup, but it's got that nice bit of syrup in there. I'm going to cut a bit off the bottom. See how we do. Yeah, they wanted to sink. There's a few bits up the top. Maybe if I'd cut them smaller, it would have worked better. But that's really nice. That's really nice. Kind of difficult to do unless you're going to candy your own chestnuts. But you can buy cooked chestnuts, so you can put them through a cake and they'll be lovely. Yeah, that works, and the sponge and the syrup soaking to the bottom works as well. Probably will want more, but I don't know how you'd you probably just have to make a batch of chestnut of syrup separately, and then kind of add it to that. But then you'd lose a bit of chestnut kind of flavour, but nice. You know, yeah. We'll when it's chestnut season in the autumn, I'll do it again with some British chestnuts and see how we turn out. But yeah, nice, and a way of using something up that I had in the cupboard. You know, stick it in a cake, see if it works. It does.